All right, all right, all right. We are in the house, y'all. Back for Cheestake. Got my main man Kyle in the house rocking me
Back at
tonight.
it again,
Yeah,
baby.
we doing some things. Yeah, got the crew, got some things going on. So definitely keep them in prayer. Those who not feeling well, this thing going around, man, it's kind of crazy nowadays. So gotta keep that up. Wifey's traveling. We just got back from Trinidad, and so she's actually traveling to Virginia to see some of her family. I had to stand back, hold it down for my pops, and I got some stuff going on with him. So make sure he's straight. Um, but other than that, we back in effect, and definitely want to shout out my cousin Shanice and her husband Kavan. Got married. I was gonna put up some pictures and stuff, but I'm gonna do that later on. But yeah, shout out to them. They got married. They did the thing. Great wedding. Um, all my family in Trinidad, those who tune in, I heard, we had a conversation when I was in Trinidad. I appreciate you guys, tuning in, and so it's definitely a blessing. I can't complain, um, and definitely want to give God first and foremost all the glory, honor, praise in my life, man. I'm not able to do what I do without God being the center and the core, and so I'm I know what God did for me in my life, and I know where I what I where I where I actually won't be, and I know what it is to not have um, you know God working things in my life because I wasn't in the right lanes I need to be in. So I'm just glad that I can readjust some things in my life and come to maturity does that to you as well. You know what I'm saying? You get older, you start realizing some stuff. You start realizing it ain't you. It's really God. Sometimes ego and stuff gets in the way, and you think it's really. I never really thought it was me. But sometimes you always think your talent and your skill is good enough, and it really ain't. It's God's grace that keeps you, and God's favor that empowers you and protects you. So that's where I'm at tonight, y'all. I'm excited. This is Thoughtful Thursdays, so we play little clips. We talk about different things. And if you like what we talk about, join and comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels, and let's have fun with this. You know what I mean? I have a little motto. We say the things that you probably would or can't say because everything is all PC now, so you got to be careful. I ain't no celebrity, so I can say what I gotta say. Ain't gotta worry about nobody trying to come at me. But if the truth hurts, then I need for you to go and get a band-aid because that's all we're not here to hurt nobody's feelings, but we sure not gonna pull back. So
Hey, they say a hit dog will holler.
that is true.
A hit dog will holler.
All day. You know what I'm saying? And look, when you go chase this money, look, I heard this old saying in trade, that no tree ever grows all the way to the sky. So you better get your money. You know what I'm saying? So hey, whatever you're doing in life, man, go get it. Understand there's a whether you think it's a glass ceiling or not. You know what I mean? Don't limit yourself in life, but just don't let people talk you out of certain things, man, for real. So, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. We're gonna start this thing off. The first thing I want to show, I got some things I got on going on here. The first thing I want to talk about, I'm gonna share on here. Let me see this thing in here real quickly. Let me know you can see it. Let me know you can see it, Kyle.
All right, we'll do. It's popping up right now. Hey, everybody, bear with me. I'm a rookie at this. This is my first. What do you call it? We call it cheating.
Podcast. You live. What you mean you're first? You in it?
I did that one, but this is my first Thursday. This is my first
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. So for all y'all, man, please bear with me, but I got it. Oh yeah, this was crazy.
So, this is crazy. I never want to start off with my peoples from in Hawaii, man. This is actually, I saw this footage. I want to go ahead and share that out. First and foremost, man, so people, a lot of y'all out here think you got it bad, think your life is crazy. These are people that's in the ocean. They had to dive into the ocean because these wildfires is coming at their homes and things like that. So, you know what I mean? Count your blessings, right? Man. Because that could be anybody, any given. There's two things that's undefeated in life. All right, that's Mother Nature and Father Time.
All the time.
The two things is undefeated. All
Hey,
everything.
and the crazy thing about it, and again, prayers go out to everybody there in Maui. I had opportunity to actually go to Maui many years back. It is beautiful.
Yes, it is.
But look at this now. They have a choice. Their choice is either to stay on land and deal with that fire and lose their life in the fire, or jump in that water and get bitten, eaten by some sharks. That's a hard choice. Like, do I want to go out truly in a blaze of glory or get eaten by jaws? I don't know which one.
Yo,
hey,
it's
man,
and you're right. A lot of people don't understand. If you ever been to Hawaii, or you haven't been to Hawaii, and you think what he's saying is real, if you watch Shark Week, y'all, if you watch that kind of stuff on TV, a lot of them sharks and stuff is off the coast of Hawaii. So when you see people in the ocean like that, they're at risk for real. So definitely count your blessings, man. And, global warming is real out here. And we're out here in Texas, man. I don't know some of the states. I know, Kyle, where you at. Atlanta, man, this heat has been ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't felt, there are people who have been literally getting burnt with their skin. Through their skin through this heat out here. So,
and
Thoughtful Thursday. Yeah.
And power outages,
Power outages. Ain't nothing to play with. So all them people who don't think global warming is real, or you don't think, when people start talking about fossil fuels and energy efficiency and stuff like that, ain't no game out here. Because let me tell you something, that that sun rays is nothing to play with. It ain't nothing to play with. This ocean ain't nothing to play with. Then wildfires, this is real. You know what I mean? And hindsight is 2020. You know what I mean? You can't be, we can't be at a place in life where we have to be reactive to everything, right? You got to be proactive in life. And so let's get out here, man. Let's go out here and make sure that everybody is safe. Make sure everybody doing what they're supposed to do. Make sure the governments and these local counties and districts put things in place, man, so that people don't lose their land and, have the resources in place, man. We don't always have to wait till something go down to put things in place. You know what I mean? So definitely want to talk about that right there. So let me go ahead and give me a second here. I'm going to pull up some more stuff, man. But that one right there, I want to share that first and foremost for people who have family out there. One of my good friends, Nelson, and Messina, King Nelson and Messina, man, they actually have family that's in Hawaii. So my prayers and thoughts and condolences go out to their family. I don't think they lost any family, but I think they have, of course, I'm sure their family have friends and stuff out there that's going through it. So, just all our prayers and blessings go out to everybody who has people in Hawaii. So definitely going to throw that out there as well. So the next thing I want to show you guys, and this is right here, was kind of crazy because it was kind of wild. And I don't know if you know about this one, Kyle. This has happened recently. So I'll go ahead and share screen on this one. So everybody can go ahead and see right here. Hold on. So here's the deal. Paramount scraps $3 billion auction of BET as Tyler Perry's offer comes in low. And so a few weeks back, apparently Tyler Perry's bid was for $2 billion and they were asking $3 billion. Now, maybe it's just me. All right. But the reason why this is important because a couple of weeks ago we did a show and not a couple of weeks ago, it was actually about a month ago, we did a show where we were talking about affirmative action, right? And we were talking about my friend Nate, right? We were talking about how, and this is exactly what I was trying to explain to my people, my family, when I was telling them that they will always find a way in the system to try to shut us down. You have to infiltrate the system, right? You can't go in there and just strong arm it. You got to go in there, infiltrate it, and then beat them on their own game. If you go in there any other way, even though you're absolutely right, there are things that we need as Black America that we should have and we shouldn't have to still fight for. The system is not designed that way. It just isn't. And this is an example why. All right. This is a perfect example why. Right. Tyler Perry put in a bid for it was VH1 and BET. Mm-hmm. Right. I think it was a whole package. Right. There's VH1, BET, and the streaming service of BET Plus. Okay. And so everybody's like, Tyler Perry already acquired it, this, that, and the other. Remember when that came out? Because this wasn't the first time it came out. It came out and said it was supposed to be done and confirmed. They never mentioned there was an auction for it. You see what I'm saying? So they dropped it as if Tyler Perry, Tyler Perry never confirmed it that he had officially bought it. But social media and the internet went crazy and was like, okay, boom. And then we talked about it on that podcast. And I was telling him, I was like, look, if he has an opportunity to get this, we need to understand how huge this is, right? Bringing VH1 and BET Black back to the, a Black owner to have that kind of ownership, right? To have that kind of, stock. And so they're like, oh, Tyler Perry, what are you going to do with it if you get it? Now the fact that he doesn't even own it anymore because Paramount is not going to sell it to him. Now we just took a few steps back without even realizing it. You know what I'm saying, Kyle?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, and we can sit up here and discuss, not just Tyler Perry. I mean, you got to also think, and again, everyone's going to have their different opinions, conspiracy theory, Bill Cosby. When Bill Cosby was wanting to go after NBC.
Yep.
Right now, and again, I used to work at the Weather Channel many years back, probably around 2013,
I remember
2015. They were being bought out, a certain section that was being bought out by IBM. But when Mr. Byron Allen came in, who's a big media mogul, and bought the Weather Channel. Now, if you think about it, he's buying up a lot of these smaller companies that do business with these major networks, major movies. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like if an NBC, an ABC, Viacom or whomever it is, Walt Disney, all these big conglomerates, anything that's going to have to do with something media, they're going to have to come to him.
Right. And but see, the way he moved was great.
Yeah. And so when you look at it, all across the board, of course, we're a very small demographic when it comes to the media space, especially on that global scale, man. I don't know if Tyler, pulled his strings, and maybe he did. And probably had some other major players in this, and Paramount was like, nah, because you got to think, ladies and gentlemen, folks like Disney, Paramount, what's that, Lionsgate, all these big companies have been making money for a long time. So these folks are not trying to come off of that cash cow at all. It's, you look at it and we can, branch out.
But see, the thing is,
good.
No, you're right. But see, the biggest thing about this article, man, and this is what I was talking about with affirmative action. This is the problem. When people say, when I hear Black people say, I'm okay with losing affirmative action because it wasn't just for Black people, right? It was a whole bunch of minorities jumped on, and women and with the LGBT community, all them people.
Well, no, and this is the history of affirmative action. See, nobody wants to discuss affirmative action was put in place so white women can be equal in the job force now in the work world. You know what I'm saying? So that's why
they jumped up. Exactly.
But what they ended up doing is attaching affirmative action to Blacks and other minorities, and that's not true.
Exactly.
And nobody wants
to talk
about that. It's not.
But here's why I think it's important, right? We got to understand the demographics of society, right? Mm-hmm. This is white America, right? That's just what it is. And so you're coming in, especially being black in America, right? If you're black in America, you're already coming in as a disadvantage out the rip.
Right.
And so even though affirmative action, like you're saying, Kyle, and a lot of people say, well, you know what? It was like it benefited women, white women, and it benefited more so the LGBT community, and it benefited all these other minority groups that when it was supposed to be just for the black community. What we need to understand is if we lose it, we lose all the things that we get with that.
Absolutely.
Right? You got to give some to get some. You see what I'm saying? You can label it and say, okay, you know what? It helps white women, right? And then put the black, star on it and say, okay, for black people. But it helped a lot of black people. The one person that helped the most that we could talk was Clarence Thomas. You know what I'm saying? How this fool got into the Supreme Court was exactly why he needed affirmative action. Now, what he did while he was there is a shame, but that's a whole nother topic. But this is an example of how it works, how the system works. And we got to be careful, right? Because now when you have, and I use this example when we had the podcast, I said, when you got this kid from the HBCU university that's a valedictorian who has the same 4.0 GPA as that kid from Harvard, from Harvard, and they want to go get a job, and all of a sudden now they want to take the Ivy League school kid and leave out this other kid over here, right? Guess what? Affirmative action, the whole purpose of having it is that it's to give a fighting chance. Now, if you want to talk of school to school, I would probably gain like a kid who went to Brown or Columbia was one of them, Yale, and then somebody went to Harvard versus some other kid that came out. I should say another white kid that came out of Princeton or something like that. You got to give the black kid an opportunity who went to the Ivy League school, who has the same grades, who have the same resume. That's what affirmative action was for and pertains to a job. You have to give this employee, and like they said, these women, right, have to give this woman the same opportunity to give a man. But everybody, we can't, as a black community, you got to understand, you got to start somewhere. If you keep it there, you can eventually branch off when you get to positions of power by using affirmative action like Clarence Thomas did. Now, you just got to remember when you get there, how you got there, and understand the road that was paved for you, that when you get there so that everybody else can get that, right? He didn't do that. But in this situation, real quickly, what I want to point out to, when I'm drawing reference to affirmative action and what the Tyler Perry situation is, that we got to be careful because they don't like to give black people opportunities. Because if they do that, we get empowered. So when you get rid of affirmative action, you take away opportunity for this black kid to go to this school, or this black kid or black person to get this job opportunity, because you don't have affirmative action can no longer be based on race anymore. That's what they're saying, right? It's not based on race anymore, right?
Correct.
And we know America's built on racism.
On race.
so if you take that away, they win. They don't have to hire you for that reason. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we need. Guess what? Here's a good example of that. They don't have to give you land. You don't understand that. They don't have to sell you the land. So you can build your own community. Why would you not take that bid? They had an auction, right? Come on now. We've been to auctions before, or you heard about it if you've never been to one, right? If there's no reservation about how much money you're going to get for that particular product, for example, if a house goes on auction, for those people who are listening don't understand how auction works, right? If you have a house that is on auction off, there is a certain, it's called a reserve amount, right? It's a reserve amount. So they'll say, okay, you know what? This house is worth, let's say this house is worth $4 million, right? Well, the reserve is going to start at, let's say the reserve starts at 1.5. So in other words, if they don't get at least 1.5, we ain't talking about nothing, right? That's the reserve. That means to even talk about it, you got to at least come up to 1.5. More than likely, you're not going to pay 1.5 for the $4 million home. they're just going to eliminate those people who willing. They want one of them
They want to
fights.
get out the people. They want to get the
Bidding
people who
wars
can't afford it out.
out, right? And they want to have a bidding war, right? So you start at 1.5, and then you climb up. At the end of the day, they don't expect to get 4 million for that home, even though it's worth 4 million. So to sell that house, they'll go ahead and if you come up and you say 2, they might be like, I don't know. But if you go to 3, more than likely 3 or 3.5, they'll take that. They'll sell that home for that because it's close enough to the price of what the home is worth.
Right.
Paramount says BET is worth $3 billion. It's an auction. Tyler Perry came in at $2 billion. Okay? You can't tell me you can't negotiate the rest of that all the way through, even if it comes to 2.3. You know what I'm saying? Or you throw in a little sweetener in the deal. You get what I'm saying? If you really wanted to sell it, you can't tell me somebody coming with $2 billion that you can't get nothing on the table for that. But that tells me you didn't really want to sell it to them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you didn't really want to sell it to them.
Yeah, they really didn't want to sell it to them. I mean, you know, when you talk about someone of Tyler Perry's status,
right?
And to give him, like, they're cool with, let's just be honest, they're cool with little Tyler Perry Studios. They cool with that. Exactly. They cool. You keep making Medeas and you keep making all these other little things. They cool with that,
right?
But when you start talking Paramount, you talk, but not only just Paramount, the company itself,
right,
which is important. You also have to sit up here and think about all of the intellectual property and movies that belong to Paramount.
Right.
That catalog in itself is worth more than $3 billion.
Exactly.
And they don't want him to have that, as the cop said in Malcolm X, no man should have that much power.
Right.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly. So, he's actually he's buying, he's not buying Paramount. He's buying VH1, BET, and the streaming. But like you said, a lot of the stuff that they produced on those platforms, he will have the rights to.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I just want to
that's continuous revenue.
Right.
That's continuous revenue. Anytime it's played on the streaming service or on BET or VH1, that's cash. And that's what I'm saying. That's a cash cow. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. But then because let's be honest, if Brad Pitt wanted to buy BET, if
John Travolta,
if
Jay Leno.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If one of these other cats wanted to buy BET, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you not think that they would actually be able to buy it for $2 billion? Come on. They would easily be able to buy it for $2 billion.
Right.
Right. But like you say, it's giving that amount of power and influence to a black man. And that's the biggest thing they don't want to do. They don't want to sit here and do that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So they'll sit here and be like, oh, well, it just didn't go through. First of all, when I saw it was an auction, you couldn't sell me on that. Because an auction, especially to that caliber of money, you're never going to get the full value of whatever it is that you're selling. Especially, if you're talking about doing millions of dollars, like, let people understand a few things. If you ever do an auction, maybe one of these auctions or even heard about them, and you're talking about millions and billions of dollars, they don't even get close to that, to what it was actually worth.
Right.
They don't. You know what I'm saying? The whole reason why it's up for auction a lot of times is because it's been for sale and nobody wanted to buy it. That's the whole reason why you go to auction in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So we really want to get people to understand what it is that it is out here and call it out for what it is. And that was my biggest thing. You see what I'm saying? That was my biggest thing. All right. So I wanted to share that out here. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk about, Kyle, let me throw it out here.
All right, go ahead.
This one here got me, man. This one here had me right here, right? So I'm going to share this with y'all right here. Usher got a new song that came out. Okay, Usher has a new song that just dropped called "Boyfriend," and he has Kiki Palmer in it. All right. For the little backdrop for people real quickly don't understand, Kiki Palmer was I think Usher was doing a show in Vegas. I think it was. Is it Vegas doing a show? And then she went up on stage or whatever it is, and they sang a little piece together, talked a little something, and then she did like a 360 on stage in front of Usher, and apparently her boyfriend did not like it. Right? He had a fit. And he talking about, you're a mother, and you shouldn't be doing that, and you should carry yourself a certain way. He said a whole bunch of different things, right? And so social media lit him up, right? They lit him up like, she grown, you just insecure, da, da, da. And then the other half of people like, he got a point, if that was your girl, well, you want her to do that, all that stuff. This right here, here's the problem I have with this right here. I'm gonna tell y'all, somebody mentioned it. I saw it on a post somewhere, and I didn't believe it at first. Now I do. We have all got bamboozled by
led astray,
Usher, Kiki Palmer, and her boyfriend. We have gotten bamboozled. They had this in the works. They set us all up. He said that thing, and man, we all went live on social media. We talking about this thing, defending her, talking about he ain't no good. He just insecure dude, blah, blah, blah. And then you happen to drop a song called Boyfriend
with her.
And have Kiki Palmer on there with her.
Right. Another Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson type of situation. That's
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? little wardrobe malfunction. Man, listen. Right. Look, man, this is my people. I'm reaching out to y'all, my people, man. Listen. Stop this clout, man. Stop trying. Stop.
For real, man.
Stop it. Look, you know what I'm saying? Know your lane, stay your lane. Don't try to be something that you're not. Okay, Usher, look, you're an artist. I get it. Your job is to sing. Right. You got your residency and sell albums and streams and all that. I got it. Kiki, your job is to remain relevant. I get it.
Right.
But for the rest of us, our job is to stay black and die. You know what I'm saying? So let's not get all caught up in all of this. It's terrible, man. That's kind of the society and the world that we live in at this point.
For real, man.
We have to do something. Yeah, you now got to do something. In order to have someone like it or heart it or repost it or retweet it and all this other stuff, man. Look, man, cut the crap, yo. Cut it just for real. Like,
it's true.
Stand on your own too. You know what I mean? Stand on your own too. If you're nice with yours, you're nice with yours. If you're not, you're not, and it's okay.
Right. And I think that's the thing, Kyle. I think like society now. Like if this was the younger generation, I'm with that. I'm like, okay, you know what? We did stuff in our generation that was kind of out there, you know what I mean? And it just every generation is going to have whatever it is that they do. Yeah. And then you have people that are older from generation before talk about it, right? Doesn't matter what. Our parents talked about stuff we did. Yeah. We talk about stuff our kids do. You know what I'm saying? So that's there. But to see grown adults act this way, I have a problem, man. I have a problem. I just feel society now has people who know better acting crazy. Like, why would y'all went through this? It's like they did a whole skit, like to get Usher back in the ratings, to get Kiki Palmer some, some clout. And you know what I'm saying? Like so Usher, all of this was a facade.
Yeah, like Usher, fan.
Wrong, bro.
You in Vegas, bro. Like let's just break it down on the point that you're doing a residency in Vegas.
For real.
And you look at a lot of the major artists through multiple generations. Exactly. If they did something in Vegas, that was big. So you really don't gotta do anything extra to go above and beyond.
You
But
know, bro, to make that, you made it. To be a
you
residency
made
in
it.
Vegas?
You made it. Resident in Vegas?
Bruh.
Yeah, that's big.
Huge.
I just think what we're starting to see more and more of now, bro, where there's no value in being right. Everything is wrong now. If you're wrong, you're okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you do something wrong, it's okay. You know, at what point, you know, now again, I don't know the situation between Kiki and her boyfriend and all that other stuff. But again, they do it, so then we can talk about it, and now they're being relevant. And that's all it's really about.
That's it. You
That's
know
it.
what I'm saying? And what people not understanding why this is why this is dangerous is because you have people who will look at this way of things, this way of doing things,
Emulate it.
and emulate it. And then what's that? We just not too long ago, we had Jesse, right? And then we had the chick, I forgot her name, the black girl, right? Who pulled a stunt and for attention. And these are adults. This ain't even like teenage kids. These are like grown adults.
You're a grown ass man, dog. You're a grown ass man.
Yeah, exactly. You know better. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a female, you know better.
Right.
But this is why it's so important, man, that we have to understand, and we got to tell people, man, social media is social media. You know what I'm saying? Leave it like that, bro. It's entertainment, right? All attention is not good attention.
No.
You know what I mean? Like everybody will do whatever now for 15 minutes of fame. Like it don't even matter. You know, people end their relationships for stuff like people put their business out here just so that they can chase something that's not even real.
Hey, and just to add more context, when you called me, you know, to come on the show today, and again, I thank you for that, my brother. I was actually watching the on Netflix, Depp versus Heard, bro.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Oh, so you know Johnny Depp when he went to court.
Oh yeah, when he went to court was his wife, right?
Yeah, his ex-wife, bro. But again, all of that now, whether it's orchestrated or not, or it's legit or whatever have you, is still being publicized and put out there via social media. You know, and of course they had it on television. This shit was on C-SPAN, CNN,
right, all over the place,
NBC, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's like you had a megastar like Johnny Depp, aka Usher. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
And then you had his ex, you know, who is, I would relate to Keke Palmer in this situation. But because everybody was watching it, everybody was streaming it, everybody was tied to their computer looking at it. You know, if you opened up your Google, you opened up your Yahoo, whatever have you, you saw it, the feed, you saw everything. It's everything. At what point in time, man, do we get away from certain things being so private and held to the chest to now everything being so public?
Right.
Everything.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. It is crazy. And so I think that's what people need to understand, man. At the end of the day, we need to understand that social media is no different than television.
Facts.
Okay? It really isn't, man. Social media is no different than television. Okay? When we were younger, we watched TV. We never wanted to emulate exactly everything people were doing on television because we understood that was a TV show. That was a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like we knew.
I mean, well, you know, we did emulate Knight Rider. We up here talking to our watch and
we did some things. Let me not say that. What I'm saying is that we did our things. We wore some of the clothes.
Yeah,
right. But I think we emulated certain culture or fashion or certain elements of it. You see what I'm saying? But we did it from a realistic standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Like we didn't literally go out here and try to be the very thing that we saw. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't really trying to go out here and jeopardize everything to try and be Spider-Man or be Superman or be, you know what I'm saying? Like we wasn't going to we'll do it for Halloween. We put a cape on, right? But we wasn't gonna be like no grown man thinking that he really
dressing up like
really
Batman.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or just I'm gonna do my whole car like Batman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, like we
Driving
had our
through
moments,
Houston.
bro.
Driving through Houston.
Yeah. Yeah, get robbed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Look at Batman getting beat up there on Old National.
Exactly. With no Robin. You know, got no Robin with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, get shot. Like, I bet we get shot by the gas station. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. Like, this social media stuff, man, got people out here just clout chasing for real, man. They are like, and you can't even have real conversations now. Like, I'm talking to a couple of friends of mine, man. They're like, they said dating out here so crazy now because everybody about that bag. They're about this money. They're about chasing this bag. They're not even trying to have real. It's like, you know, they have this stuff, man, where it's like they got this mission where if you ain't got the money off the rip, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, are you serious?
Come up.
I'm like, what? If you don't have no bread a certain way, then we can't even conversate or you don't go a certain way. That's crazy. But that's what it is now.
That's what it is.
Social media got people thinking that these lifestyles that you see these YouTubers have and these Instagrammers have, that because they have it and they flaunt it and it's real, but what they don't show you is they put a lot of work in to get here.
Right.
And everybody wanted to pay off, nobody wanted to work ethic, right?
That's it.
That's it. They don't want to put the work in, they just want the results.
Right.
So if you social media, man, we gotta be careful with your kids that watch this stuff, man. You gotta make sure your household, your husband, your wives, your boyfriends, your girlfriends had a conversation, man. They understand that social media is just what it is. It's entertainment. It's another form of like a news outlet. You get all the gossip, you get all the juice, you get all the, all the things. You can comment on it, and then much like everything else, like your TV, you shut it off. You know what I'm saying? You get off of Instagram. Right. You be done with it.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So I'm gonna stop sharing here, and I'm gonna bring up one more thing to talk about before we head up out of here, man. This thing was kind of crazy.
And ladies, don't be out there Keke Palmer and neither. Just gonna go ahead and put that out there. Don't be out there Keke.
Yeah. Yeah, you got somebody good.
Right.
Value your relationship.
Value relationship. That. Invest in that for sure.
For sure. So here's the thing, you can see. So what's up with this? Like, I need to get all the details. So I'm trying to read a little bit of this. And apparently, what's it, Michael Orr?
Michael Orr is now basically saying that the whole Blind Side was false.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
Like nothing, like none of that happened. Like they didn't, take them in, or I don't even know. I haven't really been keeping up on it much, but it's crazy because they did. They made it big on this thing. Yeah, they made it.
But look, Sandra Bullock got an Oscar from this movie.
That part. Right.
She got an Oscar from this movie. Like, here's the problem I have with this, right? Here's where it's twofold for me, right? For the movie like this to make it the way it did, if what he's saying is so real and so true, why didn't it come out back then? You know what I'm saying? Like, this movie is too big and grossed too much money, especially when Sandra Bullock went on an Oscar, for you to now come out now and say, well, the whole thing is fake or it wasn't real. You get what I'm saying? Like,
again, you got two sides to, as they say, you got his side, you got their side, you got the truth. So you don't know.
Right.
Could it be at some
Chris
point?
Is saying,
could it,
they took him in, but they didn't teach him how to play football. So I guess the movie was talking about.
That's true, but you know how it is. It's like they took him in. So I'm pretty sure, if what the movie depicts, or the storyline in the movie, they clothed him, they fed him, they bought him a truck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they took him out of poverty. Which
Man,
let's
he
just
was
be
like an
honest.
orphan,
Let's just
wasn't he?
be
Like,
honest. Yeah,
yeah.
when you look at folks walking around today, most times you see a lot of white couples with, a black kid. Now, granted, they could be from Africa or somewhere else, but they're with the kid from some type of nationality, not of their own. Which is, hey, look, which is fine. So I don't want no one crucifying me, but hey, bottom
But
line
we
in
got to
this
shed light
situation,
on that, man.
yeah, bottom line in this situation, man, it's crazy to sit up and hear that, because if that was some type of facade or some type of, something they kept under wraps, like it's been going for so long, because now I think he's retired.
Long, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
retired.
he's retired. Like, this movie's
Retired.
old. This ain't like,
Right.
and the problem I have with it too, man, we got to be careful. Look, I love my people, right? I love my people, but this is where we just give them ammunition. You know what I'm saying? We
Mhm.
give people ammunition as black people, and this is why. There's a lot of kids out here who, number one, let me put this out here. A lot of kids want to get adopted, right? There's a lot of
Right.
kids. If you've never seen this, y'all, you go to any orphanage. This is really serious. A lot of kids out here who grow up in an orphanage and they have been molested, raped, taken advantage of. They live a really, really tough life. There's a lot of kids who grow up and never get adopted. Like, adoption is huge for a lot of children who don't have family. So, just want to put that out there. Like, this is serious in regards to, we got to be careful that people don't get deterred or turned away from stuff like this, from helping this little black kid, because I don't want to be like that. Because that can easily now looked upon like he's ungrateful to some degree. You see what I'm saying? Because yeah, they took you in, but they didn't teach you football. They took you in. It takes a lot to take somebody in. You know how many extra resources it takes? Money, food. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
to feed extra mouth to feed in a household, that ain't nothing easy. And based on the story I saw, they weren't wealthy. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they was living in they had mansions. You get what I'm saying?
What was it? I thought they were. I thought he owned like some
Yeah,
food
I mean,
chain or something.
they
I
had they
mean,
had they had some kind of money, but I mean, even so, like, taking on an extra household, an extra mouth to feed is no small feat in any level. You know what I'm saying? And I think we have to be mindful when celebrities do it. We can look at it and say, okay, you know what? What's her name did? Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie did
yeah,
it. I think Jodie Foster did it. A lot of celebrities do it, and it almost feel like it's a facade. It's almost like a thing to do. Adopting the little African kid that we see on TV. But adoption is real, y'all. Like, it really changes somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, they go from having nothing to having a family.
so
So
I'm
I don't want
reading
to
this
downplay that.
here. I'm reading this here that it says that the Tuohys intended, so they're intending to end their conservatorship, which basically in a nutshell, they're trying to end that because it was told to Michael that he was actually legally adopted, but he wasn't really legally adopted.
Oh, snap.
So for
Okay.
them to leave that conservatorship, to get rid of that, that
Means he was
was
never
in
adopted.
means to in protection for Orr to. So they had that in place for the protection for Orr to attend Ole Miss, but they never made him officially adopted
In
into
their
the family.
family.
Right.
But did they not take care of him though? Like, did they make money off of him? Like, I don't. I guess the thing is for me, Kyle, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. It's like I don't see what the end game is with this. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know.
Like
I
we're
don't
we're
know.
like you're doing this now, right? He's already retired from football. One.
Right.
Number two, they still took you in to their home, right? I mean, that was the premise of the whole thing,
Right.
right? They took you, so they did provide shelter, food,
clothing,
their clothing. They took care of you.
education.
Education.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So my thing is, what's your end game? Like this coming out now, was there a rift in the family, or did something happen where you ain't talking to them no more? And like, you know what, I'm finna put it all out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
It could be, or maybe it was one of those, you know. And again, we're throwing we're
yeah,
throwing stuff on the wall, hoping it sticks. You know, who knows? In this type of situation, it could have been something like, hey, you know, once you make it big, you get yourself settled, you retire, you know, hook us up on the back end. He could have been like, well, no, you know, who knows? I don't know where this
but
is, you know.
yeah, I think that's the thing for me. Like, we got, like I said, we got to get more details. But
yeah,
for me personally, I don't see, even for him, man. Like, you know, there's some things I think as family, and I'll say this to y'all, you need to keep in house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what the situation is. Some things don't need to be, some laundry, some dirty laundry don't need to
don't need to be
leave your house to go in the laundromat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to wash your clothes in the public, right? You don't need to do your laundry over here. Like, some things need to be left alone, left at the house, right? And I think that's just my opinion. I don't know the whole thing about it, but if these people took you in on some level and took care of you some level, this movie's old. You don't even play in the league no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
right.
you know, some things you need to go ahead and keep in house, even if y'all may have a big disagreement, y'all may have a big family thing. You know, that's still, you know, this is exactly the definition of a family. Then, you know what I'm saying? That something done happened, somebody done fell out, and all the uncle business done got out. You know, everybody, big mama's business done got in the streets. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
so I just think that's just my take on this situation. Kind of, like you said, you read some stuff on it. You know, that's just what I'm saying, man. You know, just y'all, you know, like we were just talking about social media, man. You know, keep your business to your business, man. You know, don't put everything out in the public. Everything don't need to be recorded. Everything don't need to be set out in public. Everything don't need to be put out there so everybody hear and everybody see it. You know what I'm saying? Keep some of the business to yourself, man. You know, some things are just, you know, there's a lack of privacy, man. We don't have privacy anymore. You know what I mean? Like, people are not private with things. You know, they just want to. You have an argument or something, they posting big old posts on Facebook. You know, don't let nobody take advantage of you, and then this, and you know, so everybody thinking somebody done took advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? And now we got to try and parse through who, and then all of a sudden you get the phone call. Who done took advantage of you? Was it your husband or your wife or your family member or your co-worker? You know what I'm saying? Like, I see it all the time, man.
Look, sometimes, man, you got to talk things through. So I understand it's also a soundboard you got to vent, but like you said, man, there's still a level of discernment that you must have. And again, hey, bro, you know, when I've been wrong, you know what I'm saying? I've had my subliminal shots at people or whatever have you, man. But at the end of the day, you know, to what we're talking about, though. Like, that's a subliminal shot. Yeah, you may say something.
You may say something because you're like, okay, you want somebody to know that you know something,
right?
And say something.
But this is like you said. This is like, hey, man, I'm throwing all my dirty laundry out there,
right?
And in this situation, you know, again, just to tie it in with him, you know, you're talking about now the family, him, coaches, you know, you're bringing so many other people, you know, involved all across the board, which, you know, even if this is another situation, and I don't know if there's a statute of limitation, but because it was with them and they were both University of Mississippi alums, you know, did they really way him to go to Ole Miss when he wanted to go to Tennessee or Florida or Alabama? You know what I'm saying? So now, if there's some truth to all of this, could the NCAA actually come back on both of them?
Exactly. Exactly.
Because if the NCAA can sit up here and
For real, bro.
take away
Reggie Bush and all
Reggie
these other
Bush's
people out
joint, the
here.
Fab Five, take away that. Hey man, look.
As a matter of fact, it's so funny you mentioned that because somebody was mentioning that based on the situation, they're thinking about taking away Sandra Bullock's Oscar. That was
Look,
something that's reported out here because if the story ain't real
right.
and the host, you know what I'm saying, the movie ain't real,
You don't
you
need
know,
that Oscar.
yeah, you see what I'm saying? So there's so many
Run,
dominoes, man, that you gotta be
run
careful
that
with.
back. Run that
Yeah,
back.
man. Like you gotta be careful with that stuff, man. So just that's just what we want to send out here to y'all tonight, y'all. This is Thoughtful Thursdays. We played a different clips out here so you guys can see different things. This is where we just kind of pull up some things. I pull up some articles, some clips. We talk about some things. You know what I'm saying? We just kind of air some things out. You know what I mean? It was Thirsty Thursdays. That was just that was something a little different. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we just gonna leave it alone with that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna leave it alone with that. But one more thing, I think I'm gonna share one more thing real quick, and then we just gonna get out of here.
Cool.
And I think this is let me share this one right here. Okay, this one here was just kind of crazy. And I said again, these are all just articles, y'all, things I see. And so this one right here is Antonio Armstrong Jr. It's a kid. His father was a football player, and he killed his parents, both his parents in 2016. So it's kind of a crazy story. I read a little bit about it. I don't know a whole lot, but at the end of the day, man, it don't matter. All you parents out here, man, let me tell you something. You keep your head held high. If you provided food to eat, shelter for them to sleep under, clothes for them to wear, and you put them in school, man, let me tell you something. You're a good parent. You know what I mean? Are you perfect? No. You probably got things you're working on. There probably things that you should or shouldn't have did. All right. There's no such thing. There's no manual that come with parenting. All right. So you do the best that you can. Just as long as you don't abuse your kids. I ain't talking nothing crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? And molest your kids and nothing ridiculous like that. But if you sit here and you're just a regular parent doing the best that you can, you need to understand something. Once your kids reach a certain age, you don't have to do stuff for your children. Once your kids be like 17 years old or 18 years old, everything you do after that is because you want to help, right? You want to assist and help them out. You're not obligated. All you big mamas out here, grandmamas out here taking care of them grandbabies, stop it. Your son or your daughter laid down and had these kids, they need to stay here and be responsible for these children. Had a friend of mine that put a post out here. I didn't reply to it because I love her, but I didn't agree with it. And she was saying that whatever her child wants, she's gonna be there. I ain't want my baby on the street or nothing like that. I completely agree. But you have to set some boundaries with that, right? If you stay in this house, the goal is not for them to come live with you. It's for them to stay temporarily while you help them get back on their feet so they get their own place. Your son or daughter need to have their own place to raising their own kids, right? So we gotta be careful with this stuff, man. How we treat this generation and not just baby them all the time. Because you start babying this generation, this is stuff like this happen. Ricky Smiley said it. He said the graveyard is full of people who died, not by strangers, by their own children, by their own family members. You know what I'm saying? You know, to raise your child and your own children come take you out. I can't even imagine that.
Wow.
That's a tough pill.
I mean, it's a tough pill to swallow, but again, I do understand, everybody wants to ensure that if you went through or had struggles when you were growing up, that your offspring do not face those same things. And I get it and I respect it, but there's also a level of you have to, at some point in time, you have to teach these individuals that life in the world is not fair.
It's not.
You're going to have to go through trials tribulations. You're going to have
Yep.
to bump your head, bump your knee, scrape your arm. And that's the reason why we have a lot of these, and I'll just call it what it is. Young black men are soft.
Yep.
That's why you have a lot of these young men, you know, whether it's black, white, whatever.
Yeah, generational.
They can't deal with adversity.
Men
They
and
don't
women,
know how to
young men and women.
resolve conflict, you know, because they never had it. So then all of a sudden you win it. Then they pulling out a gun, they shooting this, they shooting that, or whatever have you. You know, and again, it is a very, very, very thin and fine line. But you know, you gotta allow folks to grow up.
You have to learn how to fail in life.
Yeah, fail fast. You learn how to fail fast. Fail fast and learn.
So you can learn. And I think that's the thing. I think that's the problem. We're so afraid to teach children that it's okay if you fail. You see what I'm saying? Like everybody, they teach this stuff in school. You know, when my kids were going to school, you know, they have this thing where everybody get a gold star.
Hell no.
Everybody get a participation grade kind
trophy.
of thing. And that's not how life is, though, right? And that's why I say it's a false narrative. When we were growing up, it was first, second, or third. That was it. And if you didn't come in first, second, or third, the whole goal was for you to work hard so that you can place first, second, or third. You didn't get no runner-up for participating in the race because you didn't learn anything from that. There was a hunger that was built into us that's like, man, you know what? I missed the podium this time. I missed out on this in life. I got to go get it now. And they put in the extra work and put in the extra time. And it created perseverance in us. You know what I'm saying? Right. These generation of kids don't have that because we baby them all the time. They some go down in their life and they want to call you up and all you like a firefighter or you like a fire or like a policeman. You going to save lives.
Right.
you putting out fires. You know, you're not even teaching. You digging holes. Trying to get your kids out. You know what I'm saying? That's not how life is. Because when you go for a job interview, guess what? Everybody don't get the job. Nope. That's facts. One person finna get the job. So when your child don't get that job, now they depressed and they got depression and they going through life and they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to deal with rejection and all kind of stuff. Like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Right, man. Like, look, I'm 47 years old. I still fail. And I'm okay with that. Right. I learned the lesson. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, it's when you look at the situations where this man had a means of a former NFL player. So again, I'm pretty sure, you know, he was pretty well to do. Right. This young man had everything in life. Right. You know, I mean,
it's a sense of entitlement, man. This kid
don't understand. Like, I can speak for myself. Like, he has no clue, and there's a lot of kids to this day have no clue about not having running water but have heat.
Yep.
Not have heat but no food. Not have water and no food but got heat. Like,
yep. It's entitlement, man. They have a sense of entitlement, man. They feel like you're supposed to do this for me. Right.
Absolutely.
You're supposed to have heat. Like, what do you mean you can't have heat? Right. Do you understand if your parents don't pay that bill, you don't have heat. You don't have water. Like, they don't understand the concept of that.
Funny story, man. I was talking to a friend of mine's son probably about 3 or 4 years ago. And no, about 4 or 5 years ago. And I remember because he was about to get his first apartment. And I said, look, let me tell you something. I said, do you remember ever having your lights off when you was living with your parents? He said, no. I said, you want to know why? He's like, I mean, because we always had electricity. I said, because your parents paid the bill.
Right.
I said, if you don't pay that bill, they're going to cut your lights off. He's like, what?
Right.
Electricity ain't free. Water ain't free.
Exactly.
Like, no, bro. You better stay on top of your grind. And you better pay them bills. Because if not, you will come home. I was like, the worst feeling is coming home and you unlock that door and hit that light,
lights, bro. And,
click, 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 click.
You like what? And then you figure out, dang, I ain't pay that bill. I gotta pay the bill. They don't understand that, but you see, and that's what I'm saying. And I feel like he's the son of a football player, but I think but a lot of these kids in the generation feel a sense of entitlement. They feel like you're supposed to do this because you brought me into this world. You a parent. You know what I'm saying? I've seen stuff where kids tell their parents that, like, I didn't ask to come here. You brought me here. You see what I'm saying? Like, you brought me here. You supposed to take care of me. You brought me here. You supposed to do this for me and do that for me. But what they don't understand is it comes at a cost, and nothing lasts forever. No. So them taking care of you and raising you is because you're not allowed to do it on your own to be self-sufficient, right? You're still young. You're still in school. You're still doing all that stuff. Once you're able to do it, they are no longer obligated. Parents are not obligated to do it. No. And these kids feel like they don't hear no. So somebody like him probably didn't hear. He figured he see his mom and dad got money because father was an ex-NFL player. So he figured, why am I out here working? What you mean I gotta get a job? What you mean you ain't doing this for me no more? What you mean I ain't doing that? They don't understand that. Right. Like, they expect that you will continue to do that because you did it to me when I was a child. So why would you stop now? Because you've grown, right? But they don't get that. This generation does not get that. Say?
No, me and your mama are wealthy.
That's it.
We wealthy.
Bruh, I remember my daughter. Get your own. Man, my daughter, I mean, one time, like years ago, my daughter was having, I think it was with middle school, she was getting bullied. But when she first got to high school, you know, there was some other stuff going on with her. Then we didn't figure out. We're like, what is going on with you? You know, this, that, and the other, man. So the school called and we have to sit down and kind of figure out what's going on. But then before we can get to the teacher stuff, we had to talk with her. Like, okay, let's be honest. Like, hey, what are we walking into? You know what I'm saying? We want to know straight up what's going on with you. Lay the cards out on the table. You know, is it a boy thing? Is it grades? You know, whatever. Are you pregnant? You know, we just throw everything out there. Man, do you know what she came and told us, bro?
What's that?
My daughter told her, well, she was stressed out, going through all these set of emotions because she didn't have an iPhone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm telling you, bro?
Yeah.
Because she didn't have an iPhone, bro. I'm sitting here like, are you kidding me? I reached around and grabbed it myself. I'm like, an iPhone? All my friends have one, and you don't know how hard it is. And in class, now I understand technology, and we did. We was like, okay, we could get you a phone, but you ain't finna go through no depression because you didn't get an iPhone. Like, let's stop the madness. Like, they're grown people who work hard for their money and get an iPhone. I don't have an iPhone. I remember what it was. 8 or 9 or 10, whatever number it was.
Whatever series iPhone was. Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, bro.
That's
relax a second.
That's like back in the day. Back in the day when we were growing up, you know, when laser tag first came out.
Right.
And it was like everyone was getting laser tag was being pumped, but then they had the other off-brand joint called like Photon or some ish like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Photon.
Everybody, yeah, exactly.
So you got up here getting mad because you
ain't
laser tag, and you got the Photon joint.
Yeah, be glad you play with. You know, be glad you got something.
Be glad you got a toy for Christmas.
Right.
So, I get you, bro.
So that's it, man. You know, man, we've just been kind of go ahead and wrap it up here, man. You know, appreciate you, Kyle, man. Just want everybody to know it's Thoughtful Thursdays, man. We're back on Tuesday. I'm still grinding, still doing this thing, man. Having a good time with the podcast. Shout out to all my family and friends who tune in and watch and everything. It's Kyle. Appreciate you, my brother. As always, family.
Always, like I said,
know,
whenever you need me, I come off the bench, brother. You
first six man of the year, baby.
6 man of the year, baby.
You're on there, man. I appreciate your family. So sit tight, Kyle, y'all. We out of here, y'all. God bless. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see y'all next Tuesday.
Peace, blessings.